Allendale Public Schools commit to educate, inspire, and support all students. Amy, you have the roll call. Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Members of the audience are welcome to make comments at the time designated on the agenda. Please register on the sign-up sheet and limit your comments to 3 minutes when your name is called. Out of respect for all individuals, please refrain from all personal criticisms in an open forum. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion by Kevin. Second by Anna. Discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say the same. Okay, all 6 yes. And next on the agenda is our discussion items. Garth?
Yep.
Take it away.
So the first one up is our high school girls basketball field trip request. They were communicated with by Fruitport, who wanted to know if we'd be interested in playing a special game down in Indiana at the Hoosier Gym, the famous Hoosier Gym that was in the movie. Trying to think of the name of the movie now. Hoosiers, yeah. What? No, the school, Hickory, wasn't it? Oh, Hickory. Yeah. And so both the boys and girls have been invited, and they've sent in a field trip request. It looks like they've got everything in order. They've arranged, transportation. The girls' team is planning to stay at an Airbnb, and the boys' team is planning to stay at a hotel. And so just wanted to run this by you, see if you had any questions. Obviously, Coach Adema's here if we have any questions for her. I think she's been taking the point on a lot of this with Coach Brown was out for a little while because they have a new addition to the family. So, but just didn't know if anybody had any questions. Sounds like a really unique opportunity, a great way to do some team bonding before the season starts. And yeah, so didn't know if you had any questions tonight. If not, it'll be an action item at our regular meeting in October. Okay. All right. Well, that's actually item A and B. So I'm going to skip ahead to item C. And it's another field trip request. And this is from our high school music department. They are looking to go to Florida. And I don't remember the dates right off. It's November, right? In November.
20 to 25.
Thank you, 20 to 25. They're going to be performing, the marching band, I believe, will be performing at Disney World. Will the choir also be performing at Disney World? Yeah, and there'll be some clinic work there. And of course, the kids will get to have some fun, I think. They're going to go to some parks, maybe even Universal Park on one of the days, I believe.
Yes, that's correct.
But again, this is a trip that I believe one of our current board members mentioned she might have gone on a similar trip at one point. But so yeah, the music department does a great job organizing, and I'm sure they'll have an appropriate number of chaperones, and they'll have their time well structured. And so again, it's going to be another trip that we'd like to recommend they go on. But Mrs. Bolton's here if anybody has any questions about the trip in particular. Otherwise, this also will be on the October agenda for approval.
How many other bands are going to be there?
So it's actually an audition process. So we have to get approved through the audition process to
Okay.
go, but typically in the parade we see about 2 to 3 bands.
Okay. Is there time to mingle with the other bands and
That's a good question. That's probably a good question to ask Brian Broom, the band director.
Yeah.
I believe they keep them actually kind of separate, just for like safety protocols and all that good stuff.
Mhm.
But as far as I know, they're kind of just the like school kids who march together. Yeah.
Thank you.
This is for 2025, November 2025, not this November?
Yeah, we like to give our families a year in advance.
Okay.
To plan. Yeah.
Got it.
Thanks, Liz. Okay, we'll bring that up in October for final approval. Next up is item D, and this is the purchase of a new John Deere tractor. The current tractor we own is from 1998, and it's got a lot of mileage on it, and so we'd like to replace that. Mr. Torno used the state bid system to do the pricing, and so we got a really good price on a potential John Deere cabless loader, and the total price would be $49,731.96. The good news is they actually are offering almost a $7,000 trade-in, so the final price would be closer to $43,000. So it's something that we get a lot of use out of, particularly like when we work on the ditches around the water and to cut down some of the brush. Gets a lot of hard use, and so it's time we get a new one, and so we're going to recommend the purchase of this John Deere. Are there any particular questions about the tractor? As I said in the agenda meeting, I am a city boy, so if there are any questions, I will turn it over to Mr. Torno to make sure you get the right information, but I appreciate Gary did a nice job pricing these out and going through the state bid site. Okay, we'll have that.
Garth,
Yeah.
quick question.
Yep.
In the Power Guard protection plan, does that, is there maintenance included in that, or?
Yes,
Yep.
there is some, and it's free pickup, free delivery, free and time, so it just
Okay.
extends it.
Yep, I just didn't know, sometimes it's warranty, sometimes there's a maintenance.
And there's a premium warranty on it, but it just kind of extends it out with all the things now.
Oh, yeah. And obviously, it says it expires in August 11, I'm sure that's just part of it's probably good until, well, it says the bid,
Yeah, it's the state contract.
that's kind of what I figured, it's a state program that's kind of locked in, but it said it expires. All right, that's all I have.
Is the expectation that this one lasts 25-ish years as well?
Hopefully.
Will be on me.
Maybe. Okay. And then the next item is really exciting for me. We have an opportunity to make a land purchase, and I'm projecting this up on the board so that everyone can see. This area along the top is our current property. We own it all the way up until this little square right here. This is 68th Street, and then that's Pierce. And so the property we're looking at purchasing is this square right here. Goes all the way, includes the house, includes what's currently being farmed, and then there's a bunch of wooded area here. So if we're able to purchase this property, it runs right adjacent to the high school property. It would be a nice natural flow for growth for the district. This property here, we do have a right of first refusal agreement on it. So when they're ready to sell this little square here, we should be able to purchase that as well, which will give us the complete tie-in right into the campus. I gave you the purchase agreement. The offer was for $39,000 an acre, which is pretty good. If you follow real estate at all, you know that that is a great price, and so we really appreciate the Meyer family. They have sold us property before. They've been tremendous friends to the school district for a long time. And so, yeah, we're just very, very excited about this opportunity. And we have a signed purchase agreement with the family. Really, it's just waiting for board approval. We have already scheduled a survey, and we will do an environmental study, but we don't believe there should be any issues there. Just in terms of the farmer, there is a chance that we may want to continue at least for a couple of years. The way it was explained to me is that as a school entity, we would not have to pay property taxes for the first 2 years that we own the property. So for 2 years at least, if we wanted to work out an agreement with the farmer to continue to work that that land, this portion here, we could do that. Then at that point, if we weren't ready to build yet, and we wanted to use it for something else, then we would probably have to take a look at the impact of the property tax. So that is it. So this includes everything, includes the house. Not sure the house is something we want to keep long-term, but we may be able to find some short-term use for it. I know in my mind what I'd like to do, but I don't know if we could do that. We have a wonderful industrial arts program, and they do some construction trades type things, and this would be a perfect opportunity for kids to learn how to hang a ceiling fan, for example, replace a sink. There's a lot of things that we could do with that until we figure out the long-range plan. So I don't think the house is, without its practical uses for the district. So it's kind of exciting.
Is that house currently a rental?
It
Or-
is, they run a month-to-month lease, and so
Okay.
they were going to notify them.
Okay.
We've given them, I think the date they were given was November 30th, that's about how long we thought it would take. So the board won't give final approval until, if you approve, until mid-October. And that just gives the lease, but they tell us that the tenant's known for a while, that they were going to sell it, has been preparing to move out. But they are on a month-to-month lease.
Who would maintain that house? And would that, okay. Is that, like, well, I'm curious if we have capacity for that, like.
Yeah, I mean, it would fall under our facilities. I don't know that there would be a lot of maintenance, because I don't know how much use we get out of it. Again, there's a lot of things you can think about doing. My understanding is they just recently redid the septic system, so that's in great shape, and it's got water. That's the nice thing, is that there's electrical and water sewage here already. I'm told that there is sewer down, water down 68, and there's talk, of course, in the township that they're eventually gonna run sewer down Pierce. Hopefully, and then pave that whole part of, Scott would appreciate that. Oh, he doesn't care anymore. Used to be able to drive down dirt roads. But what's nice is that those utilities are already there somewhat, so if we did build something, you wouldn't have to run necessarily all the way from the school out there.
You said that the tenants right now are done November 30th, is it of this year?
Yep.
Okay, is it worth it to continue to allow them to rent if we're doing nothing with it?
Not really, because then we have start paying property tax.
Okay.
We lose
Oh,
our
gotcha.
tax exempt status because we become landlords.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good question, but we did ask about that. And, so, if they had a hardship and wanted to extend for another month or two because they couldn't find something, we could do that. And it just, again, it wouldn't really be profitable for us, but we wouldn't lose a lot either. It just, yeah, it would eliminate our nonprofit, our tax exempt status.
As far as the farming portion, is that a way for us to recoup some of the cost of the property? Is that a money-making thing if we're leasing it? Is it not?
Not really. We might get a couple thousand a season out of it. I'm trying to find out from the family exactly. It's kind of loose on the agreement that they have with the person who's farming it now. I don't think they had anything in writing. I think it was just kind of like somebody they knew and, yeah, come on in, and they gave them, so much money per acre, so it's hard to know exactly how much they're getting out of it, but yeah, for the first 2 years, it makes sense for us to continue having that farmed, just because we'll make something out of it.
Since we don't have a master plan, what would you envision could or would be built there if you, just when you make the comment, well, in a couple of years, we could build something. Do you have any ideas of what you would propose would be, the land would be used for?
Well, there's a couple of things. There's a couple of schools of thought. One is that people would like to have all of our high school sports on our high school campus. So we could move the soccer fields and the other baseball fields over in this area. And then the area over here by the soccer field, then if you wanted to expand and build another building, could go here. The other thing would be leave the athletics the way it is. put a building here. One of the things that you might do is look at building a freshman campus. If you built a freshman campus building for your ninth graders, you'd actually have a lot of space too. We've talked in the past about creating more CTE spaces. So I would love to have a building that's not only the ninth grade campus, but has, 6 to 8 classrooms earmarked for career tech classes, so that we could actually, like Coopersville, Jenison, Hudsonville, they would love it if there was something closer to their schools where we could offer some of those classes here. So that's kind of my, first thought. That's what I would like to see. But again, that depends on your enrollment numbers and how quickly those go up. But it would be nice to put a maintenance shed right here in the middle of all these trees, and then get rid of all of our, right? And put it right in there.
No comment.
Is there like a natural driveway through there, or not really?
We'd have to put a driveway across this, just kind of like. It would just have to be permitted.
It's crazy.
From our side, from the school side.
There is access on both sides here. You can get in from both Pearson and 68th Street, so that's nice. We have looked into this piece, and we'll continue to, with an eye for the future, look into that piece, because obviously that would really make that a nice broad campus, because we've talked about maybe the piece across the street here, if they ever, because that's also the Meyer family across Pierce on this side, across from PCC. They're not interested in selling that piece right now, but perhaps in the future. But this is also another piece that would really be nice, but it's a different family, so. I always want to keep an eye on the future, because I think Kevin, you're the one who keeps telling me they don't make more land, right? They don't make more land, so. We have this opportunity, and just again, the board knows it's for the community. This is one of the reasons that when we work on a budget, and Scott and I talk, we have an opportunity to put money in our capital projects fund. We've been putting money in there for things that come up that you're not expecting, and this is one that we didn't know would necessarily be an opportunity. But because we've done that, we have the resources to pay for this without going out to the community. Doesn't have to be part of the bond, doesn't have to be, some schools do sinking fund kind of election to pay for things. No loans, we'll be able to pay for it right up front. In the meeting, I said cash, and I think that the brother thought I was gonna bring a big bag of 20s, but I said, no, Gary said, I'll bring you a check. But we do have the funds. The board has done a great job for the time that I've been here, being good gatekeepers for the finances, and we've been able to pay for a lot of projects like the parking lots and the AC at the ECC, or the Evergreen building, and this is just another example of how we're trying to be forward thinking and saving those dollars for when the opportunities arise. And so I think that's really awesome that we can pay for this without having to ask for a loan or money from the community.
On the pricing, you said it was such a great price. Are there other comparables that you pulled for that?
I spoke with the attorney who's actually done several of these lately, and St. John is just paid considerably more for property that they bought, and he gave me one other example.
But in Allendale, because this would be significantly higher per acre price purchase in Allendale than any other property, especially off the Lake Michigan Drive corridor, so.
So for that, I went to a realtor who
Okay.
suggested that it was a good price. Yeah. He said that developments, in his estimation, that's better than what a developer would probably have to do. That's what he told me.
There is 1,300 feet frontage on 68 and 1,300 feet of frontage basically on
Yeah.
Peterson's lot. So about 25 house lots if you look at that, just if you didn't even know what that was.
So other questions about that? Again, it's just perfect the way it's adjacent to our high school property already, and will take us all the way out to that corner. Whatever we build here will be a showcase piece. That's kind of why I like the idea of it, like a freshman campus or some type of facility, and then the the CTE because it would be a nice showpiece right on that corner.
The purchase agreement that you shared with us is missing point 19.
So what happened there is we had talked about getting the right of first refusal on that property across Pierce, but not the whole family was feeling comfortable with that, so we took that out.
Okay.
So that was the right of first refusal, and then I forgot to leave that.
Yeah. Either renumber or you can just put intentionally deleted and leave the 19 in there.
Yeah, I didn't notice that till later.
Yeah. Just wanted to make sure we weren't missing something on the
That, no,
pagination.
that was the right of first refusal.
Right.
And they said that, you know, that, I get the feeling that they would still come to us first if we were interested. It's just, one of the siblings purchased the house that's right next to that property, and I just think that she wanted to maybe have the flexibility if 5 years from now she wanted to buy more. Other questions on that piece of property? Any thoughts or concerns? And again, it's exciting that we have an opportunity to purchase some land. It's exciting that it's so close to our current campus. Okay. That's all I have. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna get that.
Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is public comment. If anybody would like to take this time to make a public comment, they may. All right. Well, do I have a motion to adjourn at 6:22?
Make a motion to adjourn at 6:22 PM.
Support?
Motion by Kevin, support by Anna. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say the same. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thanks for coming.